Recently I've gone through a rough patch in my life, having to deal with family problems and domestic abuse. My entire life I've been very outgoing and I put everyone before myself, but only very recently have I started shutting myself off from the world and only hanging out with close friends ever so often. I started smoking marijuana quite regularly as it was really the only way I could deal with things, other than hanging out with my mates. I was absent from school a lot and rarely left my room. That was until my friend introduced me to her friend. We started talking for weeks, then we made plans to meet up. My sister was going to host a party for her 19th later that week, so I invited Jacinta in hopes of sparking up something. Before the party began I was drinking and smoking a lot of weed, to the point where I genuinely didn't know why I was doing what I was doing. They ended up showing up late to the party, with Jacinta's best friend and her boyfriend and all his friends. I introduced myself to Jacinta, then millions of thoughts ran through my head, so I panicked and kind of just walked off. Later on she came up to me and put her arm around me, while also yelling out for another guy, which confused me. She then let go of me and went to look for the other guy. Towards the end of the party, she went on the party bus. My friend Chloe told me later that Jacinta was on some guy's lap making out with him. They ended up coming back to my house to use the bathroom, all the while Jacinta was begging to go to this guy's house, where I found out later on she gave him a blowjob. After the party I didn't know what happened when she went to the guy's house. I didn't even know about the kissing party until a few days later. Then the next weekend we properly met up and we held hands and we kissed. Me and Jacinta then became very close. I opened up to her and told her things no one knows about me. She told me things as well, including the things she done with the guy at the party. A few months later she was going to a party with her best friend Lee. I had suspicions, but I trusted her. Lee then sent a photo of Jacinta siding with a guy, but she denied anything happened. She just said he was a friend. I know. Later in the party she ended up sitting on another guy's lap and made out with him several times. Months later she admitted to me. She had the chance to stop but she didn't. Later on in the party she posted a story saying that she needed me and she misses me. I don't know if that was because she was guilty or it was genuine. After that we were getting along really well, and we started going out with each other a lot more. We did have some rough patches, but we got over them and worked on it. 2 months later, on the day before New Year's Eve, I was working a night shift with my friend Chloe and she told me she needed to tell me something. That's when I found out about the 2 guys she got with at the other party. I was distraught and hurt. When I went home I struggled to get to sleep, but I eventually did. On the morning of New Year's Eve, I confronted her and she denied making out with one of the guys, but she admitted to the other. The thing is, she never apologized. She just said she wouldn't do it again, because she doesn't go to parties. But she was meant to go to a party that night, but I just convinced her to go to Chloe's for a few drinks. The entire night I was awkward and confused on what to do. I just drank and smoked some weed. We kissed a few times throughout the night, and we were each other's New Year's kiss. Jacinta and her friend Lee then said they were going to go meet up with her sister. I never thought anything of it. Turns out they went to a party and she was in a room alone making out with the same guy from the other party. God knows what else they could have done. They were ignoring my calls and my friends, but they later came back to Chloe's. Little did I know Jacinta got changed at the party and was wearing the other guy's clothes. I assumed it was her sister's spare clothes. Not even after 30 minutes of being tongue deep in other guy she kissed me goodnight, while also still wearing his clothes. I ended up losing my virginity to her on January 4th, only a few days after the party she went to. I confronted her several times about the guy because she had him added as a friend, and she told me not to get mad because they are still friends. She also said I had to suck it up if they hung out because they are still friends. I just sucked it up. Her best friend then told me about the party at New Year's. I wasn't surprised, but I was hurt. I confronted Jacinta about it. She didn't show any guilt, but she did say sorry. I kind of just put it behind me because I loved her. We then started dating early February. We started dating late because she said she wasn't ready for a relationship. I uncovered many more lies, including his clothes. She said she got rid of them. Then she said she donated them. Then she said she gave them to her friend. Turns out she kept his clothes and then gave it to her friend's sister when I confronted her about it. She also admitted recently that the guy she denied making out with, she actually did make out with him. What do? All the guys she hooked up with was before we were official, but were dating just without the tag. Long story short, she got with several guys while talking to me. I somewhat forgot and forgave, but now I'm seriously second-guessing myself, because I don't know if she can actually change. The last time she lied was a month ago when she admitted about the guy who she denied making out with, who she actually did make out with. I'm sorry for all the random and useless information. I may have left some things out cause I possibly forgotten. I just needed to rant and get some advice. But thank you for reading.